Hi friends, David here from Learn Stage Lighting, and in this video I want to compare two moving wash lights, two of my favorites. We've got the ADJ InnoPocket Z4 and the Gamma Borealis. Now, these are two of our favorites at LearnStageLighting.com and Learn Stage Lighting Gear because they're both really leaders in their class when it comes to a couple things, okay? Feature set, brightness, cost, and overall noise level. All of these things are really important to me, and these are two fixtures that really hit the bar here. Now, we reviewed both of these before on our various channels. So check out the review of the Z4 here, and then also check out the review of the Borealis here if you want to go into those details. But today, the focus is on how do you choose a moving wash light, right? Here we've got two similar but also different moving wash heads connected up to Onyx here so I can adjust them on the fly. And, you know, they've got some similarities and a lot of differences, right? This guy has four 10-watt LEDs. The ADJ InnoPocket Z4 runs very quiet, is good for a lot of venues, a lot of smaller band setups, churches, etc. It's incredibly lightweight and moves great. Then we got the Borealis, okay? A little bit heavier, more professional grade unit, uses 2 clamps instead of 1, has variable speed fans, so it will actually go silent as it has now when you've turned it off for a while. Has the backlight effect where the backlight of this unit can have a color to it separate from the beam itself. Both of them offer about a 10 to 60 degree zoom range, so that's pretty equivalent there. And of course, they're both DMX controlled in various modes. Okay, the Z4 does allow you to split up the LEDs in 2 and 2, and actually that's how it works by default. Whereas the Borealis is a single unit where it's got all of its LEDs one color, the backlight a separate color. Okay, so let's just take a quick look at these guys and talk about overall how they look. Now, when it comes to choosing a wash light, I'll turn them both on here. So bring them both up to full. So this guy's at full, little guy. Borealis is going to be up to full right there. Okay. And we're going to take them and we're going to tilt them both. Always tilt first. These units are nice and well behaved. They both tilt the same way. Isn't that nice? We're going to tilt them to our back wall. So excuse me for my blindness for a hot second. And then I'm going to just take the Borealis and go like that. Boom. And change them. Okay, now brightness-wise, at their middle zoom, because that's where Onyx, which I'm controlling these with, defaults everything to, sure, the Borealis is probably twice the brightness as the Z4, okay, and that's where it really sets it apart. The Z4, I say a lot of times, is if you're in a really dark space, it'll work well. Probably not going to shoot more than 20 feet with an ADJ Z4, whereas with the Borealis, you know, this is a mid-size wash unit, where you could easily have this shooting 30 feet or more, and it's still going to have that punchiness. As with anything, whenever you do purchase, if you're looking for a moving wash light and you come to Learn Stage Lighting Gear, we've got a place for notes in the quote process, and you can let us know what you're using as front wash or other backlight fixtures or wherever you're going to put this, and we can do a comparison on the brightness, and we can let you know, is it going to be comparable in brightness, similar, or not, okay? Now these two units have a lot of similarities to them in the sense that they both have a nice wide zoom, okay? So narrow, 10 degree, wide, 60 degree. They zoom opposite. A lot of mid-size wash units that are similar to the original, the Mac Aura from Martin, have their zoom upside down because the Martin unit did. So that's the narrowest on the Borealis and the widest on the Z4, but let's just go ahead, grab only our Z4. 10 degrees on both of them, matches up pretty good. Widest on both of them. matches up pretty good, okay? Both of these units have RGBW color mixing, okay? So we can get, let's go ahead and just grab our 2 units here. So take the white channel out, and we see here we've got a nice red, green, blue, all the colors, yellows. I would say I like the green on the Borealis a little more. The green on the Z4 is a little more alien. It's going to cut maybe a little better, but it's a little, whereas this is a little more of that Kelly green, which is a little warmer, a little more pleasing to the eye. The Borealis, definitely, it is brighter, but even if we compensate for that, like here, let's just bring down the intensity to like half, maybe a little lower. Even if we compensate for it, when we look at the colors between the two, the Borealis, specifically in the greens, has a little more resolution. Color mixing is a little smoother. I'm noticing on the Z4 as I compare the two, you know, when the colors start to dim, they drop really fast. The Borealis is a little more linear, okay? So if you're looking for a moving wash for your stage, you really got to think about, okay, what are your primary needs, and you know, how do we decide which unit's right for you? The first thing we want to talk about is brightness, okay? What's your front light? Is it going to be bright enough? As we talked about in the Z4 review, which we'll post again here, this guy has a pretty good amount of brightness. It's a nice unit. Is it the brightest thing on the market? No. But it's 4 tiny 10-watt LEDs, right? The Borealis is a lot brighter. It's as bright as units that are twice its price, okay? You know, and so you've got that going for it. Both have a good beam in haze. Actually, let's get some haze here in the room. We're gonna get some fog here in the room. I'm gonna shove these guys to give you some beam look overhead. Now, as I talk about often, this front light is a lot brighter than a typical stage front light would be, okay? So I'm going to take both units, and we're going to zoom them. So now the Borealis is tight. Grab the Z4. Make it its narrowest to really see the beam. And we can see in the overhead view here even on just a single color, we get a lot of beamage. I go to magenta here and turn off my front light, get a little more fog in the room. What we're going to see there is really nice beamage. You can see it well through the air right here on the overhead view. Even in the front camera, you can see it nice. Like, let me just grab the pan and tilt on both of these. You can see it coming through the air there in front of me. Z4, Borealis, both beams can be seen nicely. They look nice. Let's run an effect on these guys, all right? So let's go ahead and just get them moving. Okay, running a nice slow effect across 2 units. But both units are moving pretty smoothly. I'm not seeing any jumpiness in either. Then if we move them fast, both units still moving really well. Let's see if we can hit some limits. Okay, we start to get them moving really fast, and yeah, the Borealis, being a larger fixture, having a heavier head, more LEDs, more brightness, it's not quite as zippy as that Z4. I mean, look at that thing. You can probably see it through the air. If we start to speed that up even more, like, it definitely hits its limits. But I mean, look at that little thing move. That thing is fast when it wants to move quick. You know, if I increase the range that we're trying to move them in this effect, that little Z4 is just snappy. Now, noise level between the two is pretty good. You know, the Borealis, when you got it bright, It starts to bring its fans up, but it's not bad. We talk about that in its review. Pan tilt noise level, though, is really reasonable. I'd say, I mean, anytime in an event that you're running them at this fast of a chase, this fast of a movement, like the level of noise that we're hearing from the pan and tilt should be acceptable. And so, yeah, you know, that pretty much concludes it. You know, both great units, both quality lights. One comes at a much lower price, the Z4, and it's not as bright. It's very quiet, very zippy. The Borealis, on the other hand, from Gamma, really nice wash light. We've got them in a bunch of places, and I've used them, and everybody's thrilled with them as well. It just kind of comes down to, and it totally comes down to, figuring out what the best unit for your needs is going to be, okay? How bright is your space? How long is it throwing? What do you need out of it? Sure, the Borealis is a nicer unit, and it's got a nicer price tag. The Z4, less expensive, but can do a lot, and especially if you're setting up and tearing down and it's just you doing a smaller stage, these things are so light, so easy to use. So if you're looking for the right moving wash for your needs, let us help you. Over at LearnStageLightingGear.com, click here to check it out. We want to help you find the lights you need. So whether you want to check out pricing on one of these units and get a quote, or if you're looking for something completely different, head over to the site, add it to your quote list, fill out a short couple questions so we can make sure we recommend the right light to you, and we'll send your personalized quote right over to you and get that to you. We've got a lot of satisfied customers, and we would really love to be the place where you get all your lighting. Could we do that? That'd be awesome. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day and happy lighting. We'll see you on the site. Thanks.